Tim, we've known each other for more than 15 years, and it never ceases to amaze me how many people you know. And every time I turn around, you're making another introduction for us at ARG. So you are the perfect person to talk about the ultimate client strategy because you live it every single day. So first, before I ask you to comment on that, just share with folks, what you do.
So as a tax lawyer, I'm in a little bit of a unique role because I also in the past worked in firms that did tax preparation. So some of my work is I haven't filed for 3 years. What do I do? Or somebody filed wrong for me, or I'm not even sure if somebody did the filing they were supposed to do. But a little mix of cleanup and controversy collection. And about a third of my practice is international, mainly stemming from real estate here, but it could also be, hey, my son is here on a student visa and he's going to stay. What's going to happen with our foreign trust that he's a beneficiary of? Things like that that make your taxes more complicated than an H&R Block or simple John Doe storefront CPA would be able to handle. And for that reason, I work well with typical John Doe storefront CPAs because they hear questions like that and they say, I have no idea, but they're relieved to be able to say, you need to work with Tim Lewis about how to handle that foreign trust that now has a U.S. beneficiary as an example.
That's great. You do a variety of things. That foreign entity is unique and a very useful niche, and I think I've referred you dozens of times for that issue. But you also help folks negotiate with the IRS.
Controversy and collection kind of go hand in hand because you're either saying, I don't owe it in the first place, or maybe I do owe it, but I'll never pay it. So give me a lower amount. We'll do some planning to kind of get assets out of their name or change assets to be things that are exempt and analyze at the beginning, of course, is there any chance that I'm going to get a decent deal here before they go down that route? Because a lot of people will just take the case and then it turns out the person makes $400,000 a year and owes $400,000, which means you have enough time to pay within the 10-year period for the IRS, for example. Or someone owns a house that's very valuable or has a lot in their retirement plan, and that kind of stuff makes them not an ideal candidate for that. But then we go into saying we shouldn't pay penalties for this reason or that reason. Is my settlement taxable? All those sorts of factors that come up. Sometimes at the beginning they're saying, how should this return look before we file it? But oftentimes it's some other John Doe CPA at the storefront prepared to return a certain way, and what can we do now to get a better outcome? Or how can we respond to the IRS or state or city when they say, hey, John Doe, your return was really weird. We want to know all about it with the audit. Or sometimes John Doe will try to continue that audit process himself. And then we have come in at the appeal stage to try to get a better result after an auditor looked at the case a certain way.
Right. So because of what you're doing, the unique nature of your expertise, you work with a variety of attorneys and CPAs, even endless other professionals that help find their clients in compromised situations that they know you can help. So as I started out by saying, you are uniquely qualified to talk about the ultimate client strategy as you've been working it and living it. If I know you 16 years, you must know Bruce almost 20?
Yeah, 2008, so 18 years for Bruce.
18 years. I'm going to ask you just to share a little bit more about your thought process and how you've evolved your practice over the years, what strategies worked, what didn't work.
Okay, for me, so meeting Bruce in 2008, I had maybe 40% of the amount of work I would have liked to have, still making a living, but sitting around a lot. So he helped me to come up with the value proposition, and he radically helped me to work better with CPAs who generally thought of me as a competitor, because I do have that little niche that's part of me from those old attorneys I worked under that were CPAs that prepared the tax return. Some tax attorneys say I don't want to prepare any tax returns because then CPAs will believe that I'm not going to take their business. But I have too much business all around at the moment, so I'm not going to be trying to take tax returns from anyone. If someone says, will you do it? I'll generally say yes if it's feasible, but I'm not. If I see somebody used a firm last year, I'll put in the engagement letter. You'll be continuing with ABC firm for your 2026 tax preparation and let them tell me otherwise because I don't want to get a reputation for taking stuff and I already have too much already.
Yeah.
So that's like
I've never known you.
Of where I am in terms of business size. I didn't request this business to get bigger. I didn't really do that much for it to get bigger in terms of like going to more things like ARG to meet more people. I still have done BNI for a while, but I'm thinking I might need to stop that because I can't handle the referrals coming even from that. And looking at being there for probably 12 years, so far I've received 30,000 of referrals from BNI in the last 6 months, but only 650 is people in my group currently. All the rest is people that I met through the group over the past around 18 years as well, and they're not in BNI anymore. But it's just a great example of how you have to invest in these things for a long time, getting to know you and Bruce, and then like going from there and taking the time to reciprocate by bringing in great people that I end up meeting that I can send some of my overflow to because I just don't need to build a bigger business, although I could if I wanted to execute that strategy. Just for me, management and multitasking aren't great skill sets I have. So I'm looking to kind of diversify. Finding people to hire is more important at this point of my practice.
You made a really beautiful comment to us not that long ago that ARG has done so much for you. You really just want to give back and contribute and help. And, that statement alone, that doesn't come easily. And it comes from 18 years of building relationships and working through challenges and problems and, being invested and loyal to relationships that have been good to you. And it's the foundation of everything we do, which is it all starts with a relationship.
Yes, I agree with that. And I had more time to build more relationships when I was less busy in the earlier years.
Right.
But it still doesn't take that much time to end up meeting someone somehow, maybe helping me with a case or something, and send them over to you guys. It's a simple email. Let you guys take it from there as you do really well. So
And then, so Tim, the busier you got, even though you didn't have time to meet new clients or new prospects or new people to build relationships with, the relationships you built with us early on, they last.
They last and they result in referrals of other kinds of people that I now have relationships with just because like this week I had someone that said one of CPA saying one of my clients in the past used you for innocent spouse and I have another one. Do you want it? And just like it's scary to get 5 of that email a week with one person and one full-time paralegal. But now it's a chance to say, hey, with the tax attorney Shu, I have one in my practice now, just kind of starting out on their own. Hey, Shu, do you want this? Or to someone I met through BNI and just like, or through ARG. I confuse the two, although both have been helpful in different ways. ARG has definitely been more helpful in terms of like, what is my business and what am I going to do with it? Where BNI is very sales driven and it's just like, how can I get another contact? And because I'm unique, there's so many people for BNI that come to me because there aren't tax lawyers in most chapters. So that's
Sure.
how they both work well in 2 different ways. And I like ARG better in the sense that it's helped me more to get to where I am now. But both situations have turned to like, I need to find people to hire. And that's $1,500 a year I'm happy to pay to have someone to hire instead of like feeling pressure to take on another big case when I already have too much.
Sure.
It's totally worth it to have somebody that I can really know and trust for the long term there.
That speaks to how you scale, how businesses scale. Service businesses are very different than widget manufacturers or other kinds of businesses. Service businesses, we've always encouraged every single one of our people, as many groups as you belong to, there's a methodology on how to work the group, right? There's a methodology on how to build long-term productive relationships. And, I hear it in the conversation now, right? We helped you with the foundation. We helped you with high-level professionals that you can refer business to, right? When you have overflow. And that skill set is transferable to every other group, every other networking group, every other type of social and professional engagement. It's a system, it's a methodology, how you work through the relationship. And how do you go from meeting somebody at a meeting to having them engaged as a referral partner, right? There's a process to that.
That's
Do
a
it
big
very
part
well.
too, because you guys knew people from time to time, and I'll spend a half hour like this, and I'll usually have a list of 3 to 5 people that I'll send them to, depending on what their area is. So it works well for them to have the meeting with me, and if they happen to have some referral from me in the future, that's nice, but that's not what it's really about. One
Speak.
referral pays for the annual membership, there's no question, but that's not what I need anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Tim, I'm so glad you were able to spend some time, share with us, where you're at in your practice and a little bit more about, the relationships you've built and how you got here.
And another thing I can plug for you guys is that the ability to meet with Bruce 4 times a year, although I didn't use it that much because especially now I have a lot going on. That's been nice to have a sounding board. Like when I told him last year, I'm really having a problem with too much work. And he gave me ideas of getting towards you need an alliance. You don't need to join a big firm because of various things that would make it hard for me to have that kind of schedule. So I'd encourage everyone that joins ARG to use those 4 meetings a year or whatever else you could have in mind to draw out of Bruce, because all those other people are sitting there in ARG, but they don't know you yet. And Bruce just has so much experience as a salesperson and as a ARG person. If you put that all together, it really helps a lot.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tim. It's great
Well,
to see you.